Hey guys, welcome back. Bolt Spider here, and tonight I'm recording this, and I said that this deck is lackluster, but overall, with some testing, the only thing that needs to happen from what I said was correct is that Mr. Electrumite here needs to go back to 1. Now, will he go back to 1? I am going to predict yes, because he is going to be in Ghost from the Past. Because they want to start selling pendulums again, because they're starting to release pendulums slowly, and this is the first new pendulum archetype that needs it 100%. So what do I have here? This is Magician Doremichord, and it took a lot of brain power of just trying to do this to the deck. And sorry that I pause my music real quick because I'm actually trying to form thoughts. And I do have one replay that sets up what the whole deck is. So let's go into the card by card of what I have and the reasoning. So first off, we have the Mythical Beast engine. This engine is always a staple in any pendulum decks nowadays. It's a very small engine that you just need, which is 2 Cerberus and the 1 Jackal King. And overall, it is fine in my opinion. Now, I'm going to be sorting cards as I go, because that's how it's going to be. Then we have the Supreme Dragon Darkworm engine, which is double Darkworm, the 1 Gate. I'm opting to run triple Dragon Shrine and the 1 Foolish Burial, because I want to see them as soon as I can. The reason being is because it is this plus Chronograph is a 2-card combo. So then after that, we have the triple Chronograph and the 1 Time Gazer Magician. This, again, is just another pendulum monster on the field because of this whole top row. After that, for the Magicians, it's just a staple Magician lineup of the double Black Fang, double Purple Poison, and then triple Harmonizing with double Penned Call, because that's actually my lineup that I would like to use. And it's been going pretty good. Then we have the whole Doremichord lineup of the 1 Curia, the 1 Butia, 2 Angelia, 2 Gracia, 2 Fancia, 1 Elitia, which I actually may cut because I never use her, the double Dreamia, and the 3 Cutia. You can also opt to run the Foolish Burial, Terraforming, Monster Reborn, and the 2 Harmonia. I'm not running the traps or the other spell card because I don't see the need for them. Because when we look at Doremichord, scale is okay. It's only better in the pure version without things like the Mythical Beast and all these engines. But these are like mandatory engines up at the top. These first, I don't know, 12 cards are these. I think it's 12. Nope, 14 cards. And overall, this is like one of the decks that you really have to think. It's just like Endymion Magician, where you have to use so much brain power and be 5 steps ahead. But let's get into the extra deck of what I've been testing. We have the 1 Vortex Dragon. This is a staple because you make it through the combo. Boral Savage, you can make it if you don't want to make an Abyss Dweller. You have your Ignis to Prominence. This is great removal. Omega is great Vanish return and recyclability. And Hand Loop Interruption. The 1 Meteor Burst Dragon, because you summon out your Gate 0 and use this plus the Gate 0 to summon out the Absolute Dragon. Then you link away the Absolute Dragon for the Vortex. The 1 Abyss Dweller and the 1 Dugaris. You really don't need Dugaris, but it is an option to run if you want. So you have the Dugaris, can extend a little if you have a Harmonizing in graveyard, if you manage to get one to the graveyard off of your 1-for-1 Pendulum Call, or any means of discarding, which is very few. Then for the Link Monsters, we have Access Code, because he's a very good Link Monster. Apollosa, because we end on her with at least 3 materials. The 1 Zephyr Metatron, just in case if we need to. The 1 Triple Burst Dragon, this card is still a good negation upon a spot. Actually, no, on top of Battle Damage Infliction. The one Nightmare Phoenix, this card is always going to be good no matter what. The one Electrumite whenever it comes off, and the one Cross Sheep, as it can help if you summon out a Vortex Dragon to the zone. Even you can Monster Reborn it back to the zone and get a summon. So if you have a Cross Sheep with the Dagaris, then you just link away the Dagaris and the Absolute Dragon, and you get the Vortex to get another summon. Overall, this is a very standard lineup of what the deck does. Now, for some cards that you can run Zolga the Prophet because you do run Earth Fairies, but I'm opting to only play one of the level 7 and 3 of the level 1, so I didn't really go that route. It's nice for the rank 4 engine. Then you also have Kijujin Carbon, which searches out the Earth Fairies, but I don't see this being useful because you have things like 1-for-1. You have she's Cutia's the actual Stratos of the deck, and overall it's very interesting. You can also opt to run a Spellbook Magician or a Spellbook engine, being the 1 Magician, 2 Knowledge, 2 Secrets, or you can even run the Extravagance build, which is completely different. And other cards you can run on top of it are things like Selene, Queen of the Magic Magicians, and you can even run Magistus Moon Artemis, the Magistus Moon Maiden. So there's a lot that you can do, and overall it's definitely very interesting. What you could do, you could even run an invoked variant because you have Earth, Fire, Wind, and Water. You just have to supplement the lights in the deck, which is easy because you can run something like an Eldritch engine, a Dogmatica engine. So there's many different ways that you could build the deck. Now, I did say yesterday that this deck is lackluster, but overall, actually, whenever this uploads, the day before, let's just say the 16th, this deck is lackluster, but after testing, Electrumite brings this deck alive with so many other Pendulum decks. You could swap out all the Doremichord cards for Endymion cards to make it the original deck of what Endymion was. Of course, you have the 1 Servant of Endymion and the 3 of the spell card, the Searcher. I forgot the name of the Searcher. Spell Power Mastery. But let's take a look at this combo. Now, I did make it easy for me to find. So with this hand, I opened up it. I'm just doing solo duels to get a grasp of what the deck does. So we open up a Chronograph, a Pendulum Call, 2 of the Fancia, and the 1-for-1. So what I do, of course, you're going to go Pendulum Call to get your 2, 1-for-1 to get out the Cutia, and the card that I always search off of Cutia is either going to be Gracia or the level 2. Then you're going to go Chronograph to pop it, Self to summon up the Time Gazer. You link for Electrumite, effective Electrumite. You're putting the gate 0, activating whatever you don't need. Like if you Pendulum Called, you want to put your third Pendulum monster that's in your hand, so you can pop it to get your gate 0. And then Electrumite actually drew me into the field spell, which is very good. So I just grabbed something. I just grabbed our Cutia, activated the Cutia, then Harmonia makes it a 9. Then we just Pendulum Vomit, 2 cards from hand, 2 cards from extra deck. And we get the search of a spell card, and we get a special summon of a Pendulum Magician. We go Meteor Burst, summon out the Gate King, overlay for Dagaris, effective Dagaris, detach 2, summon out a level 4, doesn't matter which one. This one puts a extra deck monster back to into the extra deck from the deck. So we go Cross Sheep by linking away Absolute and Electrumite, and then we get the effect to summon out a level 4 again. Then we go to a 3 Material Appaloosa and a Abyss Dweller. Now, if the Harmonizing Magician was in the graveyard as well, it would have been a Boral Savage for another negate, but Abyss Dweller right now is amazing because we are in a graveyard format, and I would rather run Abyss Dweller over anything. So, what does this conclude for this deck? It does take a lot of... Okay. It takes a lot of skill to play any Pendulum deck. I have to say that without a fact. With all the facts in the world. With Master Rule 4 applied with Master Rule 5. Because you had to think 5 steps ahead. you have to constantly think of what you're going to be doing, what you're doing, and what are the implications of what you're doing. Like if you open up a Master Cerebus, a Chronograph, and a Dragon Shrine. You do the Dragon Shrine first, summon out your dragon, then you go into Gate 0. Then you want to do is the Chronograph to summon out the Time Gazer. Then you want to do Cerebus, pop itself to get a Jackal. Jackal you can either keep in your hand or activate to summon out the Cerebus, and then link for Electrumite with the Cerebus and whatever else. I usually would do the Dragon Darkworm, or you can also do and use the Time Gazer. Then you could just put a Harmonizing in your extra deck and activate a scale, pop that scale to grab the Harmonizing, keep the Gate 0 in your hand, and just do so much. It's a constant cycle of what the deck does. If you've played it once, you can understand how much brain power there is. But overall, this deck is a lot of fun. You can interchange what you like and what you don't like. Like, I'm thinking of taking out Elita because I don't really use her, and dropping a Fancia down to 1 so I could fit in 2 other cards. As you guys know, I love 42 cards. Or I could just make it strict 40. As overall, this is going to be a lot of fun. I actually like all 3 archetypes from this deck build set, and that's very rare for a deck build set to be like this, where I like all 3. It's just like Secret Forces back in 2015 with Necrozio Senjus and Ritual Beast. I played all 3 of those. I liked all 3 of those. And overall, I cannot wait to see what Konami has in store for us for these 3 archetypes, being the lovely Dorime archetype, the Abyssal, as I have 4 builds for Abyss, and the very first How to Deck build being Ursa Arctic. And overall, these decks are just good. They're good enough to stand their own. They just need certain cards to come off the list or come out for us to actually do more. But anyways, this has been my cover over Doremichord as a whole for deck building wise, and what I think the deck would look like if certain cards came back. Now the deck would be a little bit different if Electrumite hasn't came to 1, but that's a bandage that we have to get over for any Pendulum deck. But people have made do. Like, look at Triff. New ban list, Electrumite got banned. He's still topped with the deck, but it's more skill based than how it was, because you're running things like Magical Abductor, which you could also run in this deck, as it's a good card overall, and it gets to your level 1 spellcasters if you're running things like Magician Souls. But if it's in the scale, it adds anything that you need. So overall, I hope you guys did like this more in-depth look in the Doreme archetype, and hit the like button if you want to see more different newer decks, because I'm always down to giving myself a challenge and seeing what I could do with the newer cards that are coming out, as I tend to build a deck for everything in time. But overall, I'm done talking now. Hopefully you guys have a great day, and goodbye.